Welcome to Dear Texas Radio, where we encourage Texans to drop everything and read. Your hostess for today's show is Lori Allen.
Well, hello and welcome, everyone. Yeah, you heard the acronym. We encourage you to drop everything and read, but we also encourage you to think about writing, and we talk with authors, and maybe we help you just find a good book to read. And, today that's the case because I don't always get to read the whole book before we interview someone, and I did in this case, and I'm excited to tell you about this book and talk with this author. G.M. Walser is originally from Ecuador, but she lived in Texas for a good many years, and during those years, she accomplished quite a few things. She's started and run 3 successful businesses. She's earned a degree in holistic health. She is the mother of 2, husband of 1 right now, and she's just a nice person. We've talked a few times. She's a member of Texas Authors, and we're going to talk about her first book that's out. The title is One Soul, One Mind, A Study of Homosexuality and Gender Identity. GM, welcome so much to Dear Texas Radio. And first question is, hello. Why did you write your book, One Soul, One Mind?
What inspired me to write One Soul, One Mind was my desire to stop the bullying, discrimination, and the burdens that many LGBTQ people endure. While I was doing my research, I became aware of the suffering of young people with gender identity differences. Many are rejected and abandoned by their own parents and families. That adds to their emotional stress and the many challenges they face. I also wanted to share the evidence that I have been gathering for the last 26 years. Through my studies and research, it became clear to me that I was responsible for my second daughter's gender differences. In addition, I wanted to share my journey with parents who might be in similar circumstances as I was dealing with acceptance. I want to tell you that sometimes we suffer and cause others to suffer because of a lack of knowledge.
Wow. Well, we're going to get to the theories that you came up with your research in just a moment. But first, coming to terms with your daughter's gender differences is just one of the many challenges you've had in your life. How did those struggles and overcoming them shape the person you are today?
Life is never easy. We all have challenges and daily struggles. I want to tell you that my faith, my determination, and acquired knowledge were the key factors in resolving all the challenges that life threw my way. They made me stronger and helped me survive. Now the only thing I like to do, because of its importance, is to pass that knowledge on to future generations.
Sometimes reading stories about what people have gone through can be so encouraging. You think, oh, if I were in your shoes, there's no way I could have done what you did. But in many cases, you were developing these businesses just so you could feed your daughters. It was very inspiring. Yeah.
Well, sometimes life has a lot of surprises for all of us. Especially single mothers, we have to do what we have to do, and through the power of God, we get the courage, and we have to go on.
Well, you wrote this book after you had started some research, but why you, GM? Why do you feel qualified to write a book addressing same-sex attraction and gender identity issues?
I feel I am qualified to write a book concerning gender identity issues because, first and foremost, my God-given intelligence and intuition guided me. My first-hand experience as a mother of a child born with gender differences being always in tune with the heightened awareness of my child's behavior and development, 26 years of research with models of LGBTQ children, many years of intense study of authors, doctors, and scientists who have made a parallel connection of mind, body, and experience, and spirit. And finally, my education in the science of holistic medicine, which helped me to put the puzzle together and made it easier for me to come to an understanding of how we are connected in mind, body, and experience. That was the breakthrough for me.
You say in your book you started recognizing some differences in your daughter when she was just about 3 years old, and part of that was because you had a sister that displayed some similar tendencies. Can you tell a little bit about that?
Yes. When my daughter was 3 years old, her behavior was not like my oldest daughter. This second child was more tomboyish and like everything that was for boys. The sister that was had a similar traits, and since I am a lot older than my sister, I could relate, and I remember all her behavior, and it was very easy to compare with my daughter. And so I knew since then that they were going to be similar. Yes.
Yeah. We're talking with G.M. Walser, and her book is One Soul, One Mind, and the subtitle is A Study of Homosexuality and Gender Identity. And you can find it at the Texas Authors website. That is books.txauthors.com. And we encourage you to go there to find this book and many others that you will enjoy reading and learn from. Well, GM, this research, you're studying, you're getting degrees, and in your book you describe this theory about how gender identity is determined. Tell us about your theory.
The many years of research and studies that I have done has led me to believe without a doubt that there may be forces at work even before birth that determines gender identity. This theory is explained clearly throughout my book, One Soul, One Mind. I also want to emphasize that thanks to this holistic approach, it was easier for me to understand and accept who my daughter is.
Did you have trouble accepting who she was before you did the research?
Yes. That was a long process, even though I knew since she was little, because of her behavior and her likes and dislikes. It was very, very hard to accept because I knew what people with gender identity differences go through in their lives. And that was one thing that really caused a lot of concern for me with the situation of my daughter.
Because you didn't want her to be bullied or persecuted or suffer.
Absolutely right. Yes. That was the main concern of mine.
I bet you would like some people who are writing laws in Texas and other states to get a hold of your book. Can you tell us why?
I believe that we all fear things that we don't know or understand. Knowledge helps us to perceive or recognize the mechanisms involved in any given problem or situation. Therefore, my deepest desire is that lawmakers, religious leaders, and heads of education will read my book and follow the evidence and listen to what nature is telling us. Perhaps this would start a conversation about LGBTQ issues. People in authority must have some knowledge of the root and cause of homosexuality and gender identity. before making laws and life-changing decisions that can cause so much distress to so many LGBTQ children and adults, not only here, but around the world. My hope is that my studies and first-hand experience as a mother of a child with gender identity difference will confront the matter openly, since nearly everybody wants to avoid talking about this human condition. And so that is my mission and my dream, that will someday authorities will read my book and have some understanding.
Yeah, so let's hope some are listening, and we can tell them to go to books.txauthors.com. You're listening to Dear Texas Radio. We're talking with G.M. Walser, and the book is One Soul, One Mind. We have just about a minute before we go to a break to hear from our sponsors, GM. But can you tell us are there other places that people can get your book in addition to the Texas Authors website?
Yes, they can buy it at Amazon.com, at Barnes & Noble, and at my website, onesoulonemind.com.
Onesoulonemind.com.
Yes.
Great. Well, when we come back from the break, we are going to ask GM some questions about holistic health and a few more questions about this theory that she took 26 years to come up with. It's interesting, and some people may not appreciate it. You can always call in to us and ask questions, or you can write to us, email us here at Dear Texas Radio. We would love to hear from you. Remember, we want you to drop everything and read, and we want you to drop everything and write. We'll be back in just a moment.
In their 2017 award-winning techno-thriller series, Brakefield and Berkey take you on an engaging journey as cyber good guys duel against cyber assassins using technology, today's weapon of choice. Whether your cyber threat is fighting for your lost identity, struggling with a mutant computer virus, or being outmaneuvered by a digitally enhanced gaming avatar, you will enjoy this book series individually and collectively. EnigmaSeries.com will take you through a doorway into the digital combat of the 21st century.
Dear Texas would like to thank our sponsors, EBG 247, where you can find ebooks galore 24 hours, 7 days a week at ebg247.com. Wimberley Valley Tourism welcomes people to explore the many fine shops, restaurants, and wineries that make Wimberley special. More at wvtla.com. McKinney, Texas's quaint downtown square, rich in history, entices visitors to discover its more than 100 eclectic shops and eateries. With origins dating back to 1848, McKinney is situated just 30 miles north of Dallas and 40 miles south of the Oklahoma border. One of the country's fastest-growing cities, McKinney maintains its authentic small-town atmosphere, which is palpable when exploring the downtown streets, taking a walk on one of the city's many nature trails, or even visiting the city's Croatian-style village. Learn more about what awaits you in this picturesque North Texas city at www.visitmckinney.com or call 888-649-8499. Bourgeois Media and Consulting, a book publishing consultant where creative inspiration is realized. More at bourgeoismedia.com. Texas Authors Incorporated, in association with the Texas Authors Institute of History and Drop Everything and Read Texas Incorporated, are proud to present the third annual short story contest. Entries can be submitted between March 1st through July 31st. Winners are published in an anthology that helps raise money for the Dear Texas literacy programs, which has helped raise over $15,000 over the past 2 years. To learn more on how to enter the contest, go to ebg247.com or txshorts.com. Contest is available only to residents of Texas. Welcome to Dear Texas Radio, where we encourage Texans to drop everything and read. Your hostess for today's show is Lori Allen.
Ecuador, but has lived in Texas for a few decades. Her first book is One Soul, One Mind, the subtitle, A Study of Homosexuality and Gender Identity. You want to go to the Texas Authors website. just to see her book cover. It is so clever and so interesting. I'm not going to tell you about it. Just go to books.txauthors.com. Well, GM, one thing I really enjoyed reading about in your book was your ideas and suggestions about holistic health. Now, why is this important, the whole topic of holistic health, important to your book and this study that you did?
Knowledge gives us power. We all know that the more we know, the better off we are. It's very important to know that we are connected in mind, body, and spirit. From my experience in research, I have come to understand that physical factors influence my mind and my spirit, and mental and spiritual factors influence the body. Myself practice a holistic approach to my overall health, and my goal is for you to see how these human aspects are interrelated. For instance, good nutrition, exercise, drinking pure water, peace of mind, and prayer are the secret to obtain good health and achieve longevity. I am almost very close to 72 years old, and I do not take not even an aspirin, absolutely none. Most illnesses are stress-related, and emotions play a big role in our biology. I know this from experience. I have muscle pain, especially when I am angry about something, with the only difference that I know how to get rid of it right away by changing my thinking process and controlling my emotions. The tension of our muscles increases in time of rate, and that's why so many people have, just in this example, like muscle pain, backache, and all of that. And so through the knowledge of holistic medicine, you don't need to take medications. You don't need to take. It's just based on knowledge, what to do, and how to control your mind. Yes.
You have some fascinating stories, and I don't want to give anything away, but you have some fascinating stories about bringing members of your own family really back from their deathbed to continue living healthy, happy lives.
Well, I believe that's a gift from God, and because I cannot explain it any other way. I have this gift of healing, of course, when the person wants to be healed and when they trust me to do it. It has been very easy to help my family members because they have complete trust in me. And I have a sister-in-law that she knew, my brother and my sister and my mother, and saw them and was around when they were so ill. And she told me that she has seen 2 resurrections. And how did I do it? And so I said, well, first is the power of God. Prayer is the first thing that we do, prayer. And then the body, take care of the body through nutrition, through in case of a very ill person, what I have done is to eliminate the chemicals that they are taking and concentrate on enhancing the immune system through nutrients, through good food. And then the mind. You have to get rid of the stressors, the things, the emotions that are causing you to feel ill. We all have experienced times that when we're so stressed, we can't sleep, we don't want to eat, and that begins to take your body downhill. And, when you don't know what to do, you end in the hospital, and the rest of the story we all know. To me, it has been a blessing to to know. Of course, I have always been intrigued about how things work. I'm very curious, and I don't give give up too easy. I'm hard-headed. I'm going to find it, even if it takes forever. So,
hey, GM, you know what the
yes.
best cure for getting rid of stress is? You're supposed to say,
For
what,
me,
Lori?
For me, it's prayer and exercise.
Well, those are definitely two great ways to get rid of stress. But I was going to say,
yes.
Hey, read a book.
Right. Well, of course, if they read my book, they might find a lot of advice, not just from me, but from doctors and scientists that have encouraged me and proven to me that yes, it works.
Well, when we say drop everything and read, we can say drop everything and get rid of your stress by reading, correct?
Absolutely, absolutely. A good book is your best friend, and a book makes you travel, a book makes you wonder, and a book makes you dream, and knowledge, we acquire through books.
Now, Jim, you got a lot of you did a lot of your research through books that were almost divinely inspired, the way they came to you in certain order. But you did some what we call original research too. You talked to people, you talked to parents, you talked to moms, and that might have been because some of these people were your clients, your neighbors. This might have been a little uncomfortable given your background.
Yes, absolutely, it was. I think that was one of the most difficult part for me was, and a big challenge was to have to ask kind of private questions to invade the privacy really from family members and friends and clients and sometimes completely strangers. But I believe the way I asked, it was just a blessing because I never got anybody mad or anybody. Yeah, it was just a wonderful sharing of the stories, and for some reason I inspired trust, and they trusted me, and it was easy to do it. But it was, it was stressful for me, and it was a big challenge.
Yeah. Well, what do you hope readers will gain from studying your book?
Well, I hope they gain first some knowledge. I hope they gain compassion. They gain understanding, acceptance for LGBTQ people, not only in this country, but there's some sad stories all over the world, and so we need to learn, and we need to get some knowledge, and we need to, like I said, mostly understand how it works and what this comes from, and so on. And only by reading my book, you will hopefully understand. My accent is something that I cannot get rid of, and I wish I had. I wish I was more. I guess savvy into the English language as a second language. It has been very hard. But if you read my book, it explains very clear, and you can get
well, as a journalist, I want to say, as a journalist, GM, I think you're easy to understand. You speak slowly and not too quickly. And your book, I'm happy to tell you, has perfect grammar, spelling, and punctuation. There is no accent detected in your writing.
That's one thing. I can read perfectly well, and I can write well, but I cannot speak well. My accent is the only thing that that has been, I guess, almost like a frustration for me.
When you go home to Ecuador, do they tell you sound like a Texan?
No, thank goodness. I have continued speaking the language in writing and reading in Spanish. And there sometimes I get the TV station in Spanish just to keep up with the language, because if you don't practice even your own language, will be forgotten, and it's that's something that's kind of dangerous, because then you don't know English very well, and you don't know your own language very well, and you are in limbo. I felt that way for a while, and so I have tried to keep my English going.
Well, GM, we have. Oh, go ahead. We have just about a minute left. So, what would you like to say?
Yes, I would like to close this interview by saying that we are all born with differences, mental, physical, or spiritual. Regardless of my personal theory, the most important thing that I want to emphasize is respect, acceptance, and compassion for each other's differences. None of us are perfect, and we have to live with each other.
Yes, and you know what? People may not agree with your theory, but at least they might be a little bit enlightened about getting along and having tolerance for people who are different. Right.
That's the reason I did the book. It was to well, it has been good with people that are homophobic. Some of them have changed completely the view of people they know, and promote compassion for children of gay parents. It helps them to understand and not be so critical, or and
well, Jim, I've got to wrap you up. If we were doing television, you'd see my finger going around in a circle. That means we are out of time. But thank you so much for writing this book, and thank you so much for your time today. We sure appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. The book is One Soul, One Mind by G.M. Walser, and you can get it at books.txauthors.com. And until next time, I'm Lori Allen for Texas Authors and Dear Texas Radio. Drop everything and read, and think about dropping everything and doing a little writing. We'll see you next time.
Thank you for listening to Dear Texas Radio. To learn more about Dear Texas and its literacy programs, please visit their website at deartexas.info. I am Alex Anthony, your announcer. Have a great day.